Hello everyone, thank you for tuning in to my video channel. Today I would like to make my comment on the recent news that past MP Mastura or Dr. Mastura has lost the defamation suit and is asked to pay the DAP leaders Lim Kit Siang, Lim Guan Eng 750,000 ringgit. Now, I would like to make a comment from the aspect that is this about a poor academic training on her part, as well as does she have the right teaching of Islam? Now, we all know the issue that has been going on for many months, in which in one of the ceramah or political speeches, Dr. Mastura has made a claim that Lim Guan Eng and Lim Kit Siang both related biologically to Chin Peng as well as to Lee Kuan Yew. Now, why has she done so? Many believe that she is trying to relate the idea that because they are related, so they must also be communists, as well as somebody who is perhaps having some ideology of the PAP in Singapore. And so this aspect of what we call relating lineage, or what we call keturunan in Malay, that if someone is bad, therefore his son or his daughter or his lineage is also bad. This is a very serious accusation to say that someone is always affected or influenced by his or her own lineage in terms of ideological practice, like being a communist, a socialist, or a democratic fighter, whatever. And so because Mastura or Dr. Mastura has an academic degree, which is a PhD, similar to myself with also a PhD, I feel that I need to comment on the idea of academic training, whether she has a rigorous one or a very poor one. Next, as a Muslim, as Mastura or Dr. Mastura also is a Muslim, and also she is from a so-called political party that is supposed to know better than everybody else about Islam. I'm also a Muslim, so I think I need to comment on this aspect of lineage determining a person's integrity. So firstly, with regards to the academic training, there are several things that I wish to say. Number one, Dr. Mastura said that she has referred her claim of the DAP leaders relating to Chin Peng and also Lee Kuan Yew from a book taken from the Barisan Nasional campaign book. Now, in academic training, we need to look at, first of all, the publication of this book. Who published the book? Why is the book being published? These are two important questions. And so, if we look at the publication of the book, it is published by the Barisan Nasional Machinery for campaign purposes. That already says that it has a specific use, meaning that it is a weapon against some enemy. Now, any other book should, if it's published by reputable publishers like Dewan Bahasa or Gerak Budaya, it must have an impartial standing, meaning it is a book that treats a matter in a fair manner, rather than it is a weapon against something. And so that is something which a PhD holder must know. Where is the source, and how, what we call, what kind of integrity does the source has? So that is the first thing. In a published book like what I have done, or what I have published with Dewan Bahasa and many other publishers, a book would always be reviewed in terms of what peer review, and then it is also being reviewed by the publisher themselves, whether this is an important book, whether it is a good book in terms of contribution, or whether it is a book that has some kind of evil intention or specific intention. This is being reviewed, but I'm sure that this book by Barisan Nasional, as I said, is just a campaign book to win the war of elections. So that is already suspect. Number two, a PhD person must look at this statement. Let's say the statement says, in the book it says, let's say, Chin Peng or Kit Siang is related by blood to Chin Peng and, let's say, Lee Kuan Yew. Now, the first thing a PhD holder must do is to look at the source of that statement. Who said that? Where was it taken? Was it taken from some document? Therefore, you need to look at the footnote, or you definitely need to look at the references. Let's say this thing referred to a journal. You have to look out for the journal and find out where the journal got that piece of information. So this paper trail must be established in order to make sure that this is a verified information. But if you do not ask that, then you will be considered as a very poor scholar, because you are taking things at face value, and that is something which a PhD examination we will look at, and we will judge even a single sentence very seriously, because that would show that the person is either careless or indifferent, or actually does not know what is what we call academic integrity. So that is the second point. Now, the third point about academic integrity is the idea of relating a person's ideology, like a communist ideology, to someone who is related to that person. Can an ideology be transferred through biology? This is an incredulous question. It cannot be. You can transmit or you can transfer diseases, you can transfer cells, you can transfer all these kind of biological aspects in our body, but certainly ideology has nothing to do with that. Ideology needs to be learned, needs to be practiced. If I was an architect, let's say, and I can do very good design, it cannot be transferred to the to my son or daughters. None of my children wants to be an architect or even like architecture. So that shows that in one sense it cannot be transferred biologically. It must be learned. So there are things that can be transferred biologically, like diseases and traits, let's say certain character of the face, certain what we call gait, meaning how you walk, and even how you talk. These are very biologically related, but not ideology. Definitely that requires learning. So the scholar, if they were going to accuse Ling Kit Siang of having a communist ideology, they must look through his speeches. They must look through his writings. They must look through also his what we call a relationship with other people, other leaders, and what has transpired through those relationships. This will then be the evidences to say that Ling Kit Siang is a communist. Not to say that because he's related to someone biologically, then he's automatically a communist. That is very unacademic, and actually it's very, very silly. So these are the three academic aspects that I think Dr. Mastura has failed to actually put her integrity of a PhD to the test, which is actually something that is necessary to verify what is called the truth. Now, next I would like to comment on the aspect of Islamic teaching, because Dr. Mastura, as I am also a Muslim, And the more so that Dr. Mastura comes from a so-called Parti Islam Malaysia. And I know, because I used to be a member of Parti Islam Malaysia, they have a lot of education workshops. They are very well versed in ideology. And I'm very surprised that Dr. Mastura has ignored the Prophet Muhammad's farewell speech, which is a very well documented hadith and is very well spoken of by most religious scholars. Part of the farewell speech reads as so: all mankind is from Adam and Eve. An Arab has no superiority over a non-Arab, nor a non-Arab has any superiority over an Arab. Also, a white has no superiority over black, nor a black has any superiority over white, except by piety, taqwa, and good action. So, this is the statement of the Prophet Muhammad SAW, not the statement of an UMNO leader, not the statement of a PKR leader, not the statement of another DAP leader. No, it is the Prophet Muhammad. All mankind is from Adam and Eve. Dr. Mastura is related to Lim Kit Siang by biologically in terms of Adam and Eve. An Arab has no superiority over a non-Arab, and a non-Arab has a non-Arab has any superiority over an Arab. So race is not considered in Islam, as well as skin color. A black has no superiority over white, or a white has no superiority over a black. And the only thing that is different between this is the good action and piety or taqwa. Taqwa means always being good and fearing Allah in terms of doing wrong. That is taqwa. And so a person is judged by actions as well as in intention. So in another hadith, a person is not judged because his father or his mother is such and such a criminal or such and such a bad person. You cannot judge a person by lineage in that manner. You may judge a person in terms of whether he will be a bit bad-tempered, because it can be passed on, and whether this person will have certain disease, and so you don't want your daughter to marry someone like that. Now that can also be something that is passed on. So, but certainly not the idea that a person who is considered bad, therefore the son or the daughter of the person by lineage of biology is also considered bad. Islam does not accept that judgment, meaning Islam already said that all men come from Adam and Eve, and that not an Arab and a non-Arab, there's no difference, no race. So by trying to relate the idea of Chinese being communist is certainly not something that is relevant, or that is something that is, even if some people were a communist, then you must also still look at the action. How do you know that a communist is really a bad person? It's just an ideology, but the goodness of a person is something else. So here is a situation where it is said taqwa, being fearful of Allah in doing the wrong thing, or and also the idea of good action. And so this is the one that you can judge in this world in terms of whether this person is a good person or not, and that is the way, not through blood relations. So with that, I would like to conclude in saying that Pas Mastura, although having a PhD, may not have a very rigorous training in terms of establishing the integrity of her source as well as her information. And it is also surprising that she, being part of the a member of parliament elected and also proposed by Parti Islam Malaysia, doesn't know the basic ideology of Islam in terms of race relation and also in terms of lineage. Islam does not look at lineage. Islam does not look at race. That is how I understand it in terms of being a good person, not in terms of other aspect of what we call the human biology, or the idea of good family relations in that sense. So with that, thank you for tuning in to my channel. Salam sejahtera.